Oh, we're a mess, man.
I'm gonna play some like ridiculous banjo music behind your story, so you come in just like. Derp, derp, derp.
Then we got White
You want to have
Claws.
story time?
Hey everybody,
What is this?
this is an intro.
I've heard of these.
We haven't done one of these in a long time.
I don't know if we just like forgot how or
We have actually. I think the big part of it was that we didn't record for almost a month.
we were busy.
Yeah, it's been a busy summer for everybody.
Yeah.
But me. And I don't like doing these intros by myself, and honestly, I forget to do them. But yeah, we're going to try to get back on this whole intro game. So
Yeah. That's the whole reason we didn't release that one episode that one week and we skipped it. We didn't have an intro for it, so we just pushed it back a little bit.
that was my fault. That was all my fault. I was so busy helping my roommates remodel their living room.
It's like,
And,
wait, it's Thursday.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Yeah, and that the Thursday I was actually in Virginia with my mom picking up my niece because my brother flew over.
What was wrong with your knees?
My knees, I'm just old.
Your niece.
Yeah.
Okay. It's called a pun. Jed, if you're listening, he's cackling a little bit.
Yeah, he doesn't listen to these. Rude. Anyway, this week we've got actually Ashley's business, Black Sheep Jewelry, which is just a fun episode.
Yeah, it's an interesting business, and I wasn't here for that recording. I was here for the intro, and she talked about it a little bit. But
Yeah, we pretty much talked about the same thing as we did in the intro, but more in
what,
depth.
Jed's dogs?
I don't think they came up.
Good for once.
Yeah,
That's all he talks about.
yeah. So it's true. But anyway, so that's coming up here in a second.
What else is coming up?
West Virginia PopCon,
Ooh,
September 7th and 8th.
I've heard of that too.
Milan Park. What, you've heard of September 7th and 8th?
Yeah, I think it's a new song by After Atlas.
No. So it's September 7th and 8th, 2072. Yeah, that's
Okay.
whenever our next single's coming out.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, but yeah, West Virginia PopCon. It's at Milan Park in Morgantown. 13 Palm Trees has a booth there. Wasted Local Talent. We will be doing interviews. We're going to roam around the con and try to get people to swing by, and like we did last year.
Kind of like a Tinder of interviews,
Just keep
in
on
and out.
swiping,
Keep
Yep.
swiping. We'll put you on even if we swipe. Wait, I don't have Tinder. So do you swipe right or left?
I forget. It's been so long since I've been
We'll
on there.
swipe you up.
Yes.
and down.
Swipe up. I think up is super like. So yeah, everybody's getting swiped
Ooh.
up. So
I didn't even know that was a thing.
yeah, but you have to pay for more than one, which is stupid.
You have to pay.
Yeah.
If you super.
The
Well,
thing-
to be fair, you shouldn't super like more than one person. That's where problems start.
Exactly. Dating apps.
Ugh.
That's why I'm still single.
That's not why I'm still single. I think it's because I suck.
You don't suck. I'd date you. Anyway, West Virginia PopCon. We'll be there. D&D kinda. Everybody from D&D kinda, but probably Josh will be there. Video Game Mythos, obviously, which is 50% of 13 Palm Trees.
Yeah.
And then Gurus of Gaming will actually be there too with their own booth.
I've heard that they're bringing video games where you can go like Smash Bros and challenge people, which I mean is worth a ticket.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't know that they were doing that.
It was my idea, but I don't have anything to smash on, so hopefully someone else does that.
I did. That's a really good idea. So I think we're going to be doing a podcast panel as well on Saturday, as well as a D&D panel. So yeah, come out September 7th and 8th, Milan Park. It's from 10 to 7 on Saturday and 11 to 5 on Sunday.
Ish.
Sounds right.
You're going to meet us in person and see why we record podcasts
Yep,
and not video web series.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so there's that. Check out all of our other podcasts that we just mentioned, D&D Kinda, Video Game Mythos, Gurus of Gaming. Check out my band After Atlas because this is my podcast and I can do that.
And check out Black Sheep Jewelry with our best looking host,
Yes.
who we're going to roll into right now.
'Cause this is our home, this is right where we belong. Be proud of the places that we are from.
What's up, everybody?
Oh, are we recording right now?
Yeah, we're
Oh.
recording. I'm Daniel. I'm Jed. You're still a piece of shit. And today we're wasting our talent with...
I'm Ashley from Black Sheep Jewelry.
Yes. You also host with us here.
I do. I also
Yes.
co-host this podcast
Yes,
for
you
some
do.
reason.
Today is
It's
testing.
been one hell of a day.
testing those tides.
Yeah. So we talked a little bit in your introduction
Yes.
about your business before Josiah rudely interrupted the whole thing.
Oh yeah.
So,
He popped right in.
yeah. So, Black Sheep Jewelry.
Black
Tell
Sheep
us a little
Jewelry.
bit about how you started and
All right. So Black Sheep Jewelry, it's a one-woman show. It's just me. I turned my garage into a studio. I'm also a stay-at-home mom, so I kind of do it during bedtime and nap time and stuff like that. It started as cross stitches. I make naughty cross stitches so that they look like.
awesome.
Yeah, I said that in the first podcast.
What is a cross stitch?
We had this talk too, like the exact same question.
Wait.
you're all,
You gotta
know
remember who you're talking to.
sitting across from here. Look at him.
Sewing pictures.
Yeah.
With little tiny X's.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
No, I remember. Okay.
Yeah. So you see like the alphabet ones and old lady houses and
Yeah.
like stuff like that. I make them that say things like "Don't do coke in the bathroom."
Now I remember the conversation.
Yes.
There we go. Yep.
Stuff like
There it
that.
is.
A lot of cussing, naughty stuff. It's funny. It started with that. I sell them at the West Virginia Tattoo Expo every year, which is coming up on August 23rd, 24th, 25th. And I'll have those there. But it started with that, and then it went to like hand stamping bracelets with the similar sayings, like naughty sayings. And it just kind of escalated into changing up, like using crystals to make jewelry and stringing up beads and stuff. And now I copper electroform, which is taking a piece of something like a subject, like I use bones, I use crystals, I use botanicals, like flowers and stuff.
Fucking bees.
Bees. I want to do
Yeah,
bees soon.
bees.
I have not done. I'm working on hops right now. Little hop spuds.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's
That would be
Cool.
cool.
To make little tiny baby hops necklaces.
Not live bees for anybody that's listening.
Not live bees.
Just the dead ones.
Yeah, dead ones that died on their own. I never kill anything to get these bones and bees and bugs and stuff.
Can you promise me something that once I finally die, you'll just do that to me?
Absolutely.
Electroform his whole
I will
body.
Just
electroform.
sit me in the corner of the
Yep.
studio. Sweet.
Yep, piece by piece. I'll like
Awesome.
hook you back together. all the bones.
It's terrifying.
It's terrifying. But I'll be dead, so it won't matter.
So the process is taking a subject and covering the part that I want to add copper to with graphite paint. And so let's say I have a crystal that I wanted to put copper around the top of it. So I'll cover the top with graphite paint because it's conductive. And then I will put it in basically a vat of acid that has copper in the acid. And I'll add copper to it. I'll put just like a piece of copper down in it, and I'll add electricity to the piece that I'm adding the copper to and to the copper itself. And the copper will travel from that through the acid and attach itself to the graphite paint and will grow copper wherever I have the conductive parts.
This is the coolest thing I have
It's
ever
even
heard.
cooler if you see it in person. It's really cool. Like my husband laughs every single time I say I have something in an acid bath. Like he giggles every single time. I'm like, I need to go get that out of the acid bath. And he's like, hee hee.
So putting electricity through it,
Yes.
like, did you make something for that? Or
I
is it like you bought
a
okay.
rectifier.
Okay.
So I bought a power supply and I add the negative and the positive, and I have to adjust my volts and amps according to how much power I want to send through to it, because if I use too much power, it will burn the copper and it won't plate right. And I can adjust it to be exactly perfect to where the copper will come out really shiny and bright, or I can raise it just enough to where it will come out textured and bumpy, and which is what I typically like to do because I think it adds a lot of character to it.
Yeah.
And then when I pull it out, I rinse it in a baking soda and water bath to neutralize it. And then I typically add, unless I want it to be shiny, I add liver of sulfur. I dip it in a liver of sulfur bath, and it adds the darkness to it. It gives it that patina.
Liver?
Liver of sulfur. It smells like hard-boiled eggs.
It smells like your sandwich.
It smells like egg salad.
It smells
sheets.
like Jed. So that adds the dark patina to it, and then I just buff it out with.
Here we go. Hey, here's where it goes.
I'm trying to get as
No,
much in.
we're staying on topic.
I'm
We're
trying to
staying
get
on
as much
topic.
in as I possibly can right off the bat because I know it's gonna get weird.
All right, so you buff it.
I buff it with steel wool or a Dremel brush, and that's it. But it's a 3 to 5 day process for each piece.
So what all do you make right now? Like everything, rings.
I do
necklaces?
rings, a lot of necklaces, mostly necklaces. I'll do some rings. I've done a couple pairs of earrings, and I pulled my first bracelet out of the bath this morning. I have it with me, but that doesn't help anybody listening. But
Daniel wants to see it though.
I do want to see it. I haven't looked at it. That's so cool how
Thank
that
you.
like attaches. I like the rustic kind of look to it.
yeah,
too.
I like the bumpiness and the dark copper. Like I said, I think when you add the dark patina to it,
I saw it. She showed me
it
earlier.
brings out all of the details. Whereas the bright copper tends to look just kind of fancier.
How long have you been doing the coppering now?
1 year.
Just 1
I
year.
just hit
Is
my
that the
1
right
year.
word? Coppering? Is that how you say
Yeah,
it?
I don't know.
Electroforming.
Electroforming.
Coppering's easier.
Electroforming.
I'm not the smartest person.
But I can plate anything that I can seal. So the acid will eat a lot of things. Like quartz is fine. Quartz is not ever going to be bothered by acid. But like this bracelet is labradorite, and that's a really sensitive stone. Anything with a hardness less than 7 has to be sealed. There's a scale of stone hardness.
So how do you do like the bones?
I seal them in a polyurethane, and then like I dip them in a polyurethane
Yeah.
to where they're completely sealed.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and then I attach whatever, like the necklace that I'm wearing. I attach the ring to the top of it, and glued the stones to it, and then painted the whole thing with graphite paint. Or you can use copper paint, but I like graphite paint.
I want to see this process.
It's a cool process.
I also wonder if you could, and this is just me being stupid. I immediately was thinking about, I wonder if you could copper plate like yourself.
Well, she said a hardness of 7. And
No.
I haven't stopped
If
chuckling.
you can seal it, a hardness. Jesus Christ.
I'm about a 6 right now. Sorry. I've been sitting over here trying
This is
not to
why
make a joke.
I shoved so much information into that first 2 minutes.
No, and I'm just thinking like hypothetically, I wonder if you could like polyurethane like your finger.
You'd have to stand there with it. I mean, I would imagine that would probably create some cancer risks.
She also
I
said
don't
it's
think
like
it
a
would feel
5-day
good
process.
either. Yeah.
It's a long time to stand there with your hand in an acid bath.
It would be a long time, yeah. If you wanted to remove the finger and then give it to me, I could definitely plate that for you.
If you ever have an accident and lose a body part,
I can turn it into a necklace right away.
If I ever
I'm
get
definitely going to do that. If I ever like lose a finger or something.
My God, if
send it
anybody
to you.
if you have had anything amputated, bring me the bones. I will turn it into a necklace for you.
Will they even allow you to do that?
Yeah.
I don't see
Will
why
they let
not.
you
It's
keep it?
yours.
Yeah. You can take it with you.
I don't know if it was like some kind of like health thing. I know they like let you keep your teeth and stuff like that, but
My pig lost a tooth. She fell off a table and knocked one of her teeth out, and I kept it. And I'm gonna turn it into like a ring or something. Like
She,
weird pig lady jewelry.
she fell off of a table.
I have video of it too. So she fell off the coffee table.
Oh, okay. I'm just imagining this pig on this
On a
like
kitchen
So
table.
just-
Yeah.
table.
So
Yeah.
she's not like a dog or a cat. She can't get traction. She's got
Right.
little hooves that are hard. And she was on the. Every time I say hard, are you gonna giggle?
No, that was me because I'm just
Oh,
I'm picturing the little piggy trying to
I
run
thought you
and
giggled
can't.
because I said hard.
no. Now I'm going to.
You shouldn't have pointed it out because now he's not going to be able to save himself.
It's been one of those
Anyway,
days.
Gladys the pig.
I love that name.
He's just giggly today.
I am.
So that's mainly what you focus on now. But do you do other things?
Not really. I I consider myself just an electroform artist at this point.
Cool.
I
Do
used
you-
to do the hand stamping and like personalized.
Yeah. So
jewelry
what
and
is that?
stuff.
I don't know what hand stamping is.
You take it's just like a little piece of metal that has a cutout on the end of it. It's a metal stamp, and you hit it with a hammer into a piece of metal, and it leaves the imprint.
Oh.
Yeah.
I probably could have figured that out from the name if I would have put more thought into that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you do commission or do you just kind of
I
make
do,
whatever you want to make?
I make a lot of whatever I want to make, and I have a website, and I sell it. I set up at places like vendor events and stuff like that. I have the Tattoo Expo coming up, which I'll be at that. But I have customs closed right now, but I do open it a couple times a year. Like I open it right before Christmas and like fall. That way everybody's done by November, and I do a bunch of commission pieces then. And then I'll open it again in like after Christmas for a couple months. But yeah, I do commission pieces too. I just, for anybody that might ask me, I just decided to stop doing commission rings because it is so hard to get the exact size that people need. It takes so long, and I do not pay myself enough for that.
Yeah, I imagine that would be very difficult.
It's just kind of hard to gauge exactly how much copper is going to build.
Well, yeah, because you don't know what it's going to turn out as, right? I mean,
It's not always.
there has to be a variable.
Yes, it's not always. Not everything comes out exactly the way I planned for it to. It's hard to call something a mistake because a lot of my pieces are very organic looking and they're still pretty, but it might not be what I had pictured. So it's hard sometimes to.
They're happy little accidents.
Happy little accidents. No
Bob
mistakes,
Ross.
just happy little accidents.
So you can plate anything.
Absolutely anything. I could do a piece of paper if I wanted to.
I just had a really cool idea.
What's that?
Jess does pottery.
I had somebody ask
Ooh,
me.
that would be cool.
I had somebody ask me once if I could do pottery, like add copper to it, and I'm sure I could, but I haven't.
So how do you gauge
I'll bring some with me next time if you want to try on it.
like the amount of copper to put in there to attach? Is it just like a piece of copper?
Right now I use like a really thick copper wire. I use like 8-gauge copper wire, and I make a coil that goes around the outside of my beaker, or what was that head cock? I spent too much time with dogs because he just went.
So you use a
start grinning
beaker?
too?
I use a beaker to keep the acid in. I make my own acid solution that I keep in like a big industrial tub locked up.
Yeah.
But I use a beaker, just a small beaker right now because I haven't done anything super huge because I'm just making jewelry. So I use a beaker to keep it in.
So you like put the copper wire down in there with
in the
the
beaker.
jewelry,
Yes.
and they're both connected to the
So I
power
put the
source.
copper wire down, and it's so hard to describe this when you've never seen the setup.
Yeah.
But so I have the beaker full of the acid, and I put the copper wire down in there and attach the electricity to it. And then I have another bar that hangs across the top of the beaker that does not touch the wire that I originally put down in it. And that's what the jewelry hangs from. And you add the electricity to the bar, and that lets it travel down into the jewelry and pulls the copper from the copper anode through the acid and attaches to the jewelry.
I'm gonna have to go read
That's
up on
cool,
this later
yeah.
because I really want to know why
It
it
is
does
the
that.
coolest process.
Yeah.
There has to be copper in the acid solution so that it can help it travel, and it will pull it through the acid and attach itself to the jewelry, to the graphite paint that's conductive.
This is really interesting.
I'm so curious about how that works.
I am completely self-taught doing this. I just watched a ton of YouTube videos and read a ton of blogs.
Dude, that's the
and-
best way to learn how to
Yeah,
do something.
absolutely. I guess there are classes that people take. Like I'm in a Facebook group for people that do this too, like question and answer type thing. And there are classes that people take to do this. But I mean, like I said, I'm completely self-taught. And I'm one of those people that like, I don't like not being good at things. So I tried so many other things. Like I tried soldering and stuff like that. And I just wasn't good at it. So I quit like immediately. But with this, like I saw it and I read up on it. And I really loved the way the jewelry looks, and I read up on it, and I dumped like $200 into buying all the equipment for it. And I was like, well, hope I'm good at it because that's a lot of money. And
I really would have thought it would have been way more than that, though.
I read on like what I could cut corners on.
Yeah.
So I bought like a cheap power supply, but expensive acid. Mm-hmm. So like I originally wasn't making my own acid. I wasn't making my own anything. You can make your own graphite paint. You can make your own acid solution, like all that stuff.
So how do you make your acid? Do you get like a powder?
I get battery acid for like car battery acid, and then I can't remember what it's called, but the blue crystals that you use to like clean your drains. You know what I'm talking about? Like
Yeah.
yeah,
Like
it's got copper sulfate in it, so you can put that in the battery acid and distilled water, and then I use a copper brightener and put that in there, and there's like certain measurements of everything.
And you wear...
I wear protection.
Okay, good.
You get good at that sentence.
A little bit. Yeah, because that's all like super highly corrosive and
It is, yeah.
damaging.
Yeah, I wear gloves constantly. It won't, I mean, when it's diluted the way like the acid that I use to actually make the jewelry, I could put my finger in it and it's not going to burn me because it's so diluted with other things. But there's cancer risks.
Yeah.
So I wear a mask.
Also,
I wear
like, I mean,
gloves.
you don't want to like transfer it
Right.
to your kids or something
Right.
like that.
Yeah, I have the whole room locked
Yeah.
up. Yeah.
It's really interesting.
Well, what's the weirdest thing you've ever copper formed?
Well, I haven't done it yet, but I have that human vertebrae I told you
Yeah.
I have that I really. I did a deer vertebrae. I did that, and I have a bird skull necklace that I'm wearing that I'm not allowed to sell.
I dig that thing. You're not allowed to sell it.
Nope. There's a whole. I don't know what kind of bird it is, and there's a whole list of birds that are protected by the government.
So even if it's like
I
past-
found it. Somebody found it in their yard and brought it to me, and I'm not allowed to sell it because I don't know what it is.
That's interesting. Like even if it died of like natural causes
Yep.
or that's
I mean, it makes sense because then people would just be like, "Oh, it died.
yeah.
Found this
On
bald
its
eagle in my
own.
yard. Yeah,
Totally died. Nothing suspicious here.
definitely just found like 3 bald eagles in my yard, dead, just laying there in my yard.
Just chilling. Don't
I
know what
walked
happened.
out. I was gonna watch it fly, and it just fell over dead.
There was a loud shot before too. It was like some
It was the weirdest
sounded
thing.
like a shotgun. Shit. No. Let's not talk about killing bald eagles on this
Oh,
podcast.
that's awful.
We're gonna have people showing up at our door.
Here's the mark.
No, I don't kill anything that I make jewelry with. Everything is. That was gross, Jed.
What? Could you hear it through the
Yes.
mic?
Yeah.
Oh.
I could hear it.
Sorry, I didn't think you'd be able to hear it.
He cracked his neck for anyone that's interested.
So you're gonna be at the expo.
I'll be at the West Virginia Tattoo Expo.
I can't go.
Yeah, Jed and I can't. We
So yeah, so you're gonna be gone the whole
yeah,
weekend.
The whole weekend.
Yeah. Oh,
that sucks,
Friday
'cause it's
Friday
so much
through
fun.
Monday.
I
Yeah.
know. This is the second year in a row, too, that I've had to miss the expo.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
Something comes up
Friday,
like every
Saturday,
year.
Sunday, 23rd, 24th, 25th.
And I always love going and getting like a dumb tattoo.
It's the best.
You're the king of dumb tattoos.
I got my face tattooed last year.
Excuse me?
What?
I'm the king of dumb tattoos.
These aren't dumb. Just because I have the Cowboys star tattooed on my finger doesn't make me dumb.
We have a friend who has I don't even know how to describe it, but a methed out Mario tattooed on his thigh.
It's awesome.
That's fair. So that's his only tattoo.
I love dump tattoos.
I do
They're
too.
fun.
I used to put like all my effort into like picking out just the right thing, and it had to have meaning, and
No.
like it needed to be unique, and like I had to sit and agonize over it forever. And then one day I was at the expo, and Jess was getting a tattoo, and I was like, I'm just gonna walk around and like see what people have. And there was a guy there from Philly, and he was just doing just traditional just flash, and I was like, I want that. I just got it, and then I was like,
that's how I do it now.
yo, that was cool.
It's fun. It's
Yeah.
exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have, the traditional like crawling panther that's like
Yeah.
clawing. It's got a claw. I have one as a frog on the back of my leg.
That's pretty cool.
That's a crawling frog that's got claws.
We had one of my friends when I was stationed in Mississippi. He had one of those panther tattoos, and we used to give him so much shit for that thing.
Why?
So he's like, I don't know, white bread,
Okay.
and he's like
That's a lot
six.
coming from you, Jed.
He's like 6'2".
You right.
Pretty ballsy of you to say over there.
He's like 6'2", and like looks as though he has never seen the sun before.
Okay.
And it's like that big. He's like, the size of a dowel rod.
Okay.
And like one of his first tattoos that he ever got was like literally like it's like 3/4 of his arm, solid black, clawing panther. It's just like, looks good, man.
I don't have a lot of silly tattoos.
I love silly
Yet.
tattoos. I love your arm.
Yeah, thanks.
That's like my favorite thing is whenever people do sleeves and they do like the little
The dots and stars.
the little fillers. Like,
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love
Thanks.
it. That has to suck to sit through though.
No,
Really?
no, because it never lasts. Like he's never in one spot long enough for it to hurt. As soon as the machine touches you, it's done, and he's moved on to the next dot. Jed.
Sorry, somebody's mowing outside.
Oh, I can't hear it.
I don't think you'll be able to pick it up
No.
I
on
can't
the
hear it.
mics.
But anyway, what I
You
was
really
getting,
have a lot of hearing
I
loss.
cannot hear shit.
Like monumental.
Yeah.
what I was getting at with the tattoo expo. So you said you're going to have all of your stuff there.
I'll have jewelry and cross stitches there.
And
That
you
is the
said that-
only time of year I make cross stitches. It's just for
Okay,
the
so you
expo.
make it specifically for
Yes,
that.
I don't
Okay.
do commissions on that. I
Okay.
just bring them to the expo.
Okay, because that was my question. Because you said you just do your copper jewelry now, and I was wondering about that. Like if you had
Yep.
like a back, like a catalog of stuff that you just take with you, but you sit and you actually do it specifically
I
for the
do
expo.
them specifically for the expo.
That also
and
makes me
I
sad
sell
because I want
out
some.
all like so fast. That's the only reason I do it is because like I don't even want to do these things anymore. But people love them, and it's so fun to like see people walk up and read them, and then you can just see it hit them when they read what it actually
Yeah.
says, and they're like, "That's hilarious!" And then like people love it. Like even if they're not buying it, it's fun to interact with people that are reading them because they just say such raunchy stuff. Like,
Inappropriate things
Yeah.
are just the
oh,
absolute
it's just
best.
immature, inappropriate
Just
jokes.
the
and
absolute
stuff. Like,
best.
yeah.
I think those would do well at PopCon, honestly.
Well, I was just about to say,
Yeah.
do you remember? I think you were with me, maybe, or maybe that was Michael. Well, I love inappropriate stuff, and I love it, like inappropriate paintings and things that, like, they don't appear to be inappropriate at first. And I don't remember if I bought it. If I did, it's in my house somewhere. But somebody at the Steel City Con had done this painting, and it was the scene, or it was a drawing, and it was the scene from The Lion King, where Mufasa is like Simba comes up to him and he's like laying there, and he's like, Dad. And
So sad.
BB-8 is standing next to him and he's like, on a scale of 1 to 10, what is your pain level?
I don't even know who.
Or not BB-8, Big Hero 6.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Isn't that his name?
The guy
The
from Big Hero
big
6?
white
The
guy.
big white, like, medical
that's
robot.
the movie that he's from.
Yeah, I can't
don't know
remember
if
his
that's- I don't
name.
know if that's his name though. I've only watched it once though. I loved it, but I only watched it once.
But yeah, he's like, on a
I-
scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your
That
pain?
that hurts my heart. It's like one of my favorite movies.
Have you
growing
watched?
up,
I
and
probably have no
The new-
excuse to go watch it unless you
Lion
just want to
King?
watch it. Yeah.
No, I didn't
It's
watch
good.
it. I heard it was good.
Verbatim, the
Yeah.
original one.
Yeah.
It's like I took my kids to see
Why
it. And it
mess
was
with
totally,
goodness though?
Yeah.
Like, why change it?
But it's so good because people like me that have kids and have excuses to go watch Disney movies in theaters will do it
True.
every single time. Like I will watch every Disney movie that comes to theaters.
I thought it was funny that people complained about like, well, their faces don't show any emotion. It's like
Because they're animals.
it's a fucking lion. Like, what
I still cried.
do you want him to do?
I cried like a baby.
Yeah, I don't need that kind of emotional hurt in my life right now. It's like every time I see one of those like stereotypical dog movies where it's like the sad music and it's like, oh, dogs, and like, music and
What movies are
Yeah, what song was that? I want to hear more of this song.
yeah, every time I see that, I'm instantly just like, nope, nope, can't do it. I know it's a terrible movie. I know it's going to be awful, and I know that I'm going to sit and
There's
cry
a
through
new
the whole
one
movie.
coming out with Milo Ventimiglia, the guy from.
What?
His name is Milo Ventimiglia, and he was on This Is Us. Plays the dad.
I've never seen that.
I don't think I've seen it either. Yeah.
Daniel, you don't need to watch it. You'll kill
Great.
You'll just die. That's
It'll start
like
and
the
I'm just
exact level.
Burst into flames.
That's like the exact level of sadness you don't need in your life.
Is it like really depressing?
It's just heart wrenching. Like it's I don't know. It's so good. Like my husband didn't think he was gonna like it. He's totally addicted to it now. But like you'll cry every single episode.
I don't want that.
No, I don't either, but I can't stop. I can't stop. Like it's off right now. It's in the off season, and I want it so bad so I can cry more. Like, I don't know why.
I don't have any desire for that. It sounds horrible.
I've been watching baking shows.
Yeah, I watch a lot.
I
of those.
love baking
like
shows.
a lot of those. Like I'll be sitting there.
It
I'll be
just-
sitting there with like, a hot pocket that I'm dipping in cheese,
Yeah.
and I'm watching
And I'm
this
like,
show,
you
and I'm just like,
uncultured piece of shit.
you fucking way overcooked that fucking Wagyu beef. You fucking
Yeah.
like,
It's like
I love
Hot
like
Pocket's
Sugar
great.
Rush. Like I love Sugar
I haven't
Rush.
seen that, one.
that's a good one.
You said you've seen everything on Netflix, so it's on
Sugar
Netflix.
Rush is good. I'm actually like 4 seasons into the
British?
Great British Baking Show.
Yeah.
I'm just like, why would you sculpt a unicorn out of Rice Krispies like that? Like, you know that the nose of that unicorn is not right. And like, I can't bake shit. I'm like,
so great.
got like 4 boxes of Little Debbie's in my cabinet.
I made a Swiss roll.
I have
Little Debbie.
I have a cake plate that has literally only ever had waffles on it. Like,
Were they Eggos?
I made the waffle
Okay. In a waffle maker?
in a waffle maker with boxed waffle mix.
Yes.
Fuck it.
Yes.
Waffles are
They're
so
Dude, I'll tell
amazing.
you, best cheat code ever. I learned this from Jess. You can substitute flour with like so many things.
Mm-hmm.
Like she'll make pancakes using, she'll use just like a little bit of flour and then pumpkin, like
Yeah.
raw pumpkin. And that's how she'll make her
You
pancakes
can make
or oatmeal.
You
can
can
put
make banana pancakes with just bananas and eggs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll
This
get
has
we'll
nothing to do with jewelry.
We'll both no, it's absolutely not. We'll both be sitting there
Sorry.
and we'll like get on like a sweet kick and like she'll make mug cakes. You ever seen one of those?
microwave.
You just take a mug and
Oh,
you
I
put
thought-
yeah. What did you think I said? Did you think I said mud cake?
Yep.
Yeah, we get
go in the
hungry for
yard.
sweets, go outside, just eat some dirt. My backyard's really sugary.
Oh God. I can't hear shit. I'm sorry. I was just waiting for the explanation. I thought maybe it had to do with Oreos. Like,
Like the dirt cake that you make.
yeah, that's
Dude, those are awesome.
So good.
yeah. But then you looked at me like I was dumb. Like you shouldn't have to explain it.
Well, I was really trying to think of where you got lost between mug and cake. I mean, I wasn't sure what else I needed to say.
Talk slower.
Oh, Jesus.
Our last recording really got me.
My face hurts.
Yeah.
Today has been just nonstop.
I was going to mow, but I'm just going to go home and go
You
to
can
sleep.
tell we've all slowed down a little bit from 2 o'clock till now.
Oh, man.
Oh my goodness.
So mug cakes.
So
It's
what?
like a mud pie.
How did you get started? Like, Was that too smooth? Was that too smooth of a transition? Did I need to layer it in there a little bit easier? That's really got you. That's done it.
We have no more listeners.
Everybody's turned it off.
Everyone's gone. Oh my God.
Perfect.
All right. Well, I already told you that.
Did you? God damn. I need to go
I don't know what
to the
else you
doctor, I
want.
think.
Holy shit.
My bad. I didn't know that.
It's like the only thing I told you so far. I gotta get my shit together.
You need to get your shit together.
Yeah,
He's
really.
over asking questions multiple times.
Maybe that's why I was hot in here earlier. It wasn't that it was hot, it's because I can't
we
stop
just
laughing.
Stop laughing. Yeah.
Oh my God. All right. Well, to elaborate and answer your question, I guess. I'm a stay-at-home mom. I have 2 kids and an older stepson. And I went from working my whole life to being a stay-at-home mom, and it was a really weird transition to not be contributing financially. Oh my God, Jed, what?
Did the lights just flicker?
They did.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't even see that. Jesus Christ.
Man,
It makes fun
we're
of
gonna
me.
have to turn this whole thing
Dear
against
God.
you now. So if everybody listening, we have a group chat
But
for
you-
Wasted, and we're constantly shitting on Jed like we do in the episodes for being bald and blind and deaf, but it's not
I'll
looking
just
too
call
good
you
for Ashley
sexist if
here.
you turn it on me.
Damn.
She can play that.
Nothing
card.
we
I
can
can-
do.
I will play that card so fast. And we'll
Nothing we
go
can
right back
do.
to Jed.
It's like we don't want to offend her. Jed, you still suck.
So how does it feel, you know, being a mom and doing your own business thing and then coming down here with us and doing stupid shit like this, letting your life sink to this point? How does that feel?
I needed to let my life sink to that point. Everything in my house is very hectic because my children are so small and I don't have free
So
time.
you wanted bigger children. So that's what brought you in.
Man, I even brought snacks today.
You did.
Damn it. Always the snack bitch. No, I need it. My house is good. It's not that it's not happy. It's just that it's chaotic. Like I have a lot of responsibility. So my husband works noon to 8. I have a 3-year-old and a 4-year-old that are 10 months apart, and an 11-year-old, 10 months apart.
Listen,
I told you when my husband hooked me, he got me good. I was like, this guy, all the babies. This guy with the problems.
what's that? You have issues?
I love issues. No, I'm just kidding. He's never going to listen to this. It doesn't matter.
This is gonna be the one that he does listen to.
You're like, wait a minute.
I love.
He's gonna be sitting at work tattooing. He's gonna be like, "What the fuck?"
No, my husband is a saint. Not on paper, but in real life, he's a saint.
I can relate to that.
Yeah.
Can you though? You're pretty terrible in real life too.
Like if we had to make like real life resumes, he would never be allowed in public. But like to talk to him in person, he's the chillest, sweetest guy in the world. But no, I needed to come down here and relax and just sit in general, like sit down. I never get to sit down. But no, I used to work in a bar and I loved that kind of chaos, like the lightheartedness and, you know, I spend most of my time talking in baby quotes or like Disney movie quotes, like singing Old MacDonald, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I need pervy jokes and
you came
jokes.
to the right place. You definitely came to the right place.
I needed some lighthearted adult time. But back to your question about how this started. I needed something for myself that had nothing to do with my children. That had nothing to do with. I needed to have a sense of identity again because I really lost it when I became a mom. Like I became mom and solely mom, and that as much fun as that is, and as much as I love being a mom, it really sucks when you don't have an identity anymore.
Yeah, you
Like,
still want to be yourself.
I lost Ashley because I was a wife and I was a mom and I had nothing else going on. Like everything I did was with my kids, for my kids, with my husband, for my husband. So I needed a hobby and it grew into a business.
So have you found yourself?
Nice.
I have. I love it. Like,
Could you teach me how to find myself?
I was about to ask, what is your excuse, Daniel?
I thought that was a genuine question, but it was just Daniel being sad.
it was a
It's
genuine
probably a
question.
genuine question.
It was a genuine question.
He's
So I'm
just
really-
going to mask it with comedy and sadness.
Yeah. You're right.
I had to take some time to be selfish, to put some like not to put my kids on the back burner, but to take time to realize that they're also going to be fine if I take a day every once in a while that's just for me.
Yeah.
So when I go out and I sell jewelry and I get to talk to people about what I love doing and making jewelry and the crystals, I love learning about crystals and the different properties that crystals have, stuff like that. I get to talk to people about that, and it's something that I'm actually interested in and not something that, like, and I'm not watching a 4-year-old show me her Barbie doll for the 600th time today. Like, she's like, Mommy, look, I moved her arm. Like yeah, cool. I see
Yeah,
it.
got it.
Like,
Yeah,
it's-
I know.
Remember Mad TV, Stuart?
Stewie.
Look what I can do.
Yeah.
That's what parenting is like.
Have you seen like the
time.
resurgence of that recently?
The
in
memes?
social media? Yeah,
No.
it's like come back.
Oh, yeah,
it's
big
made a
time.
huge comeback. I've seen it all over
All
the
the
place.
Mad TV skits have
Yeah.
made a big comeback in the meme
Like,
culture.
dude, my son straight up did it the other day. He was like, Mommy, look what I can do. And he spun in a circle. I was like, oh my God, I'm living in Mad TV. Like, that's what's happening.
It's like those people were just writing what their kids were doing
Yeah,
at home.
absolutely.
Yeah.
You know what though? Like I'm sure I'll this would offend the people in the well, you don't have kids, so you're not allowed to talk crowd. Those people annoy me. But I think just because you have kids doesn't mean that you can't put yourself first sometimes.
Well, you have to.
Everybody's
you
always
have
like,
to.
no,
have
your kids,
to.
your kids, nothing ever comes before anything that involves my
This is
children
so
ever. And it's like,
controversial
no, you can't
because-
do that to yourself.
It's so controversial because I have seen people say on both sides of this where they talk about how like your children have to be the very first thing in your life. And I get what they're saying. I do, because if I had to choose between my husband dying and my children dying, if somebody gave me that ultimatum, my husband's gone. Like, I save my kids first over anything, of course.
Sorry, Paul.
Yeah, sorry, Paul, but you're out.
You
He's
just
out.
got voted off the island, man. I'm sorry.
He's diabetic and he smokes a lot of cigarettes. He's going to die soon anyway. But
They got more egg salads up there. If you're trying to speed this up, because I can tell you right now,
but like
doing
my
something to me.
husband and I, we make sure we take care of each other. Our relationship is it's so important to make sure we nurture our relationship with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like if that means putting the kids to bed early and not spending a little bit of extra time with them because we need to talk to each other and just be around each other, then that's what we do.
Yeah, you
like
have
we
to.
have to take care of ourselves, because if we're not happy, our kids don't live in a happy house.
Exactly.
And that is so important for our kids to be in a happy place. And we have to make sure that our relationship, our marriage is taken care of for our kids. But like where you said you have to put yourself first sometimes. I didn't do that like real talk right now. I had a really serious case of postpartum depression and postpartum anxiety. And I still have the postpartum anxiety. My children are 3 and 4 years old, and I still have postpartum anxiety. And it's probably something I'll live with for the rest of my life. And I never had anxiety until after I had children. And I just spent so long trying to be, and I still struggle with this, trying to be everything, trying to make sure my house is constantly clean, trying to make sure dinner's made, trying to make sure my kids are eating healthy, trying to make sure my kids' clothes are always clean. And you know what? Sometimes you just have to let your kids have food on their face and eat cereal for dinner and put off the laundry. And because I need to take a shower that lasts more than 10 minutes. And I need to go out and have dinner with one of my friends, or I need to just go sit in the basement and listen to music or something. Like, it's not constant, but you have to be able to take that time for yourself. And that was a big part of what my business is. It was taking time for myself, and it's something that didn't involve my husband, didn't involve my children. And it's mine, and I made it. And that's part of my identity now. Like I had to recreate because you can't get back the identity you had before you had kids. It's gone.
No.
It's gone. So this was
Not unless you just like.
you. I mean, you can.
I mean, I guess you could, but that's gonna get real dark.
But this was
Moving on.
recreating my identity.
Yeah.
Was making this business for myself.
Well, that's good. I'm glad that you were able to find that.
Thank you.
Because I hate seeing the parents who, like, and obviously you could never say this to them, but it's like you can tell they kind of like resent their kids
Yeah.
to a degree because
think
like
it's
they
easy to
feel
get into
like
that.
yeah, it is, you know, because they can't bring themselves to take care of themselves.
Yeah.
Like you are not your kid.
Yep.
Like you are your own person.
Yep.
You have to take care of yourself.
And thank God I have the husband that I do because he's just, like I said, he's a saint. Like I got the unicorn husband of all husbands. Like if I need a break and he sees that I need a break, he's like, get out of this house and don't come back until you're ready. Like, I got it. You're good. Go. Like the other day I just had like my 3 and a 4-year-old. I mean, it's crazy. And my 3-year-old boy is just insane. Like, and I needed out. And he was like, go have a drink, which I'm not even a drinker. I needed a drink that day. And he was like, go have a drink and just take your time. Come back when you're ready. I'll put him in bed. It's fine. Like, just go away. And I just went, and my friend works at a bar, and I sat at the bar, and I had one drink, and then I talked to her for the night, and I just felt so much better. But so many people don't have that option. Like, they either are doing it by themselves, or they just have a piece of shit that doesn't want to help them with their kids, and they don't get that. So I think I think it's probably really easy to resent your children, and because you lose yourself and you don't have any other options.
Yeah. Especially since like a lot of parents almost shame other parents if they do that.
God.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, you spend time outside of the house, like, oh, that must be nice. You know, like they almost like try to make people feel bad for taking
Absolutely.
care of themselves. It's like,
And
what's wrong with you?
Mom shaming and mom guilt is like the worst thing in the world. Like, I saw somebody that I knew at a bar one time, and she was like, "Man, what's the name of your babysitter?" Like, I wish I had a babysitter like that. And I'm like, "You're here too. What are you talking about?" Like,
See, and what's got to
they're
really
with their
suck about
grandparents.
that
Like,
is
they're
like,
not missing me right now.
even though you know that like that shouldn't bother you, that has to kind of bother you a little bit, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, even when I'm doing something that like
You know is not wrong.
no is not wrong. Yeah, like somebody, like I have a friend that every once in a while she's like, it's actually my stepson's mom, and she's got 2 little kids too. And every once in a while she'll be like, "You guys go out on a date. Like, I'll watch the kids. They can have a sleepover or something." And the whole time I'm gone, I feel guilty, and I know I shouldn't because she offered, and if she wouldn't have offered if she didn't want to. But I feel guilty because somebody else has my kids, and you can't get rid of that. Like, and so when somebody else says something about it, it's just like confirming your feelings. Like, you don't, you're like, oh, maybe I am a piece of shit because I don't have my kids. Like, but you're not. Like,
No.
everybody's got to have that. But, like, back to the jewelry thing. Like, we're getting real mom talk over here. Real mom's a Fairmont.
What a fucking show that was.
Just kidding. I
Whoa.
live in Morgantown.
Whoa.
I don't want to be on Real Moms of Fairmont.
I don't want to.
Coming soon, 13 palm trees. Real Moms of Fairmont.
But self-care is so important, like, as a person in general. And, like, how Maggie from Vertical Vixens, she was talking about, like, she was like, I just don't work well for other people. I don't want to have a boss. And I'm like, that's such a great way to practice self-care. Like, when you get to be your own boss, you get to make sure you're taking time out of your business to do things that you love, not just things that you need to do, but things that you want to do. Like, I get days off whenever I need to. If my kids want to go do something, we go do it. Like, if my husband and I want to go somewhere, we go do it. Like, he's essentially his own boss too. So, like, it's so good to be able to practice that self-care of, like, I just watch so many people that just work and go home and work and go home and work and go home. And, like, I'm so glad I get to do that. Like, I've created this business to where I give myself that leniency, but I've still disciplined myself enough to be able to run a business and keep it going.
It's such a nice place to be. Yeah,
It's very serious.
it is. That was the best
Well,
part about that.
somebody had to reel it in around here.
Then we,
True.
then we got Daniel over here.
Well, the whole mom thing, it's over my head. I don't ever plan on having kids.
I don't want kids either. I like kids, but I don't.
Wait, did I say I
Yes.
planned on having kids? So what I said?
No. I'm saying you plan on. I mean, you did say
You did
that's
say.
the guy.
I said my husband was really hot, and then we had kids.
I think your exact words were, "I'm gonna have him put a baby in me."
Yeah, I do vaguely remember something like that.
My husband and I, we had been dating for exactly 5 months before I found out I was pregnant. On the day of 5 months, I took a pregnancy test. And then my daughter was 7 weeks old when I got pregnant with my son. We brought home our second baby on our 2-year dating anniversary from the hospital.
Good Lord.
I got excited. He was really cute.
I mean, Jess and I pretty much did the same thing. It was just with dogs,
Dogs.
not humans. And we didn't have to birth them. There's a lot less investment on our part. Plus, I can just give them dog food.
I mean, I could give my kids dog food, I guess.
Yeah, don't do that.
Not saying it's the greatest
No, no,
idea. I'm
no,
just
yeah.
saying I probably
You
could.
could. Yeah, you could do that.
I don't know. I'm an idiot, so I always see dog food and it smells good. You know, I think dog food smells good.
Some of it.
And then like the nicer dog food looks good. And I every once in a while, like I would say once or twice a year, I will somehow convince myself to eat some of it, and it's still bad every time.
Man.
That does not surprise me.
I know. Jess has referred to me many
It's like-
times as the dumbest smart person that she knows.
Oh, I know somebody that I've called that before. Yeah.
That's like the same thing with baby food.
You know what?
Like,
There is
yeah.
some good baby food out there.
Yeah,
Some
dude.
of it. Some of
Banana
that, like
baby
that.
food is the best.
Some of those
shit.
vegetables,
yams?
though,
Yeah.
Listen, I could live off of baby yam food.
that's too expensive
Yam,
to live
baby
off of
food. Food for baby yams.
food for
Just sitting here eating Miracle Grow out of a bag, sprinkling it into my egg salad.
It can't make it worse. Just so we're clear, Jed went to Sheets and came back with a pre-made, not from like the made to order.
Well, they don't have egg salad in made to order. That's what I wanted, but they don't do made to order egg salad.
It's because nobody wants to be back there smelling egg salad. He came back with a boxed pre-made egg salad sandwich and a bratwurst with nacho cheese, mustard, and sauerkraut on it. Mm-hmm. And a kombucha because, you know, health.
Okay, yeah.
because he needed to be healthy. Surprisingly, it doesn't smell too bad down here, though.
Well, that's because
Yet.
I knew I was going to drink a lot last night, so I drank Pepto before I went out.
Oh, I wasn't saying about like your ass. I was saying about the food.
I'm not going to advertise that I'm not going to post that I'm doing this podcast. If any of my customers just happen to come across it, I apologize.
Yeah, this is Sorry to everybody that's listening to this week's episode and next week's episode because shit gets weird.
Shit always gets weird.
Yeah, well, it hasn't in a while. It's been pretty serious around here. It's nice to have a day to lighten up.
Yeah, the last few ones that I've been in were pretty business minded.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Tattoo Expo is the 23rd?
August 23rd,
23rd,
24th, and 25th.
Are they
And I
still
will
doing
be
it at the
there.
same place?
Waterfront
Waterfront?
Place.
Yeah.
Yes.
Waterfront. I'm very upset that you
I
do
was there
those
last night.
those cross stitches only for that.
Yeah.
Because I really
It's just very time consuming, and I
yeah.
cannot possibly charge enough for my time. So I
just
only
make
do it
money.
once a year.
Yeah.
Because when I'm doing it and selling a bunch all at once, it makes it feel worth it. But it not not worth it at all to do them individually. I started one last October for Paul, and I never finished it. I've got like maybe a couple hours left on it, and I'm not.
How long does it take you to do those?
It depends on what it is. I can, a lot of them I'll do like small, just a few words on it, and I can do it in like a half an hour. But the one that I worked like 6 months straight on it's a huge Captain Spaulding, and it's like this big. And you just squint because you don't know who Captain Spaulding is.
From the Rob Zombie movies?
Yeah.
Okay. I was just making sure that wasn't like another person that I didn't know of.
No,
You saw they're making another one,
Yes.
and he's coming back.
Yeah.
Love those movies.
3 from Hell. I'm excited.
I think I've only seen one of his movies.
What?
Yeah.
Which one?
Probably Halloween, because he's basic.
The Devil's Rejects is one of the greatest movies that was ever made.
That's the one. That
The
was
original
it.
one was House of a Thousand Corpses. And then they did
Oh,
Devil's-
I've seen that one too. Okay, so yeah. I've
Okay,
seen,
yeah,
okay.
that was
Okay.
the first one.
I didn't know he did that one.
Yeah.
Honestly, I had no idea.
How have you seen both and you didn't realize they were both his movies? They're the same characters.
I just
And it
Years
also
apart.
says
From
Rob
his-
Zombie at the start of the movie.
I mean,
His wife
I've watched
is
them
in-
both
Yeah.
both once and just never put two and two together.
I
I just
would-
don't
Did he
remember.
do The Hills Have Eyes? That wasn't him. That was somebody else.
No, that
Yeah.
movie was shit.
It really was.
It was bad.
It wasn't very good.
I love Rob Zombie. And I would leave Paul for Sherry Moon in a heartbeat. She is gorgeous.
God, Paul, you got 2 knocks against you this interview.
Yeah, you better hope.
This
he
is
doesn't-
his
doesn't-
whole life. Yeah. Like when Jess was punching you, I was like, oh, look, it's me and Paul.
And kicking.
And
She has a
poke your butt.
really bad habit of like, no matter how many times I tell her that, like, listen, I know that you're very small, but like shit hurts. Like she still will just like jokingly walk up and just punch me like as hard as she can.
I do it to Paul, too.
I'm like, dude, that actually hurts.
You're both small and feisty. So
True.
you
You gotta be feisty if
Yeah.
you're small. You can't be small and timid. People walk all over you.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. She also got Jess got to marry Jed, and that's just that's just
got to
easy.
marry Jed?
Well, yeah.
Listen, so
Just married Jed.
I don't know
How
if
did
you're
you
aware of
got
this.
to?
I don't know if you're aware of this, but she got like literally the worst hand ever because when we first got together, I was in shape. I was like 30 pounds lighter than this. I was in the
He had
military. I had a full head of hair. Like I was jacked. I looked great. Like strapping young lad.
Strapping.
And literally,
So this is 1930.
literally,
When
we
their
got
courtship began.
we got our courtship. We got married, and like a year and a half later, I lost my hair. And then, like, I don't know. When I got out of the military, I was like, oh man, I can like not work out all the time and like gain a little bit of weight. And yeah, I gained,
Nailed it.
gained a lot of weight. like I got big for a while there. And then I was
Well,
like,
what do you
okay.
think happened to Paul? He got with me. He was like, yeah, this cute little bartender. Had a couple of babies. I can tell you I don't fit in any of the clothes I had when he met me. Like, had a couple of babies. Now I'm just like, I don't shower anymore because I don't have time. He's like, oh, God, she got fat and she doesn't smell good anymore. Like,
So he's in there
She's
doing
always-
stuff with acid and copper, taking weird baths, bones everywhere. I think she's a witch.
definitely. Oh, speaking of witches, I'm also doing, okay, so I have a few events coming up. Let me get those in here. I have,
Now,
If you've made it this far,
for the
here are
two
her
people,
events.
for the 2 people that have made it to this point,
all right, Mom, listen.
Sorry, Ashley's mom. I would apologize to 2 moms today. This is not good. It's not been a good day, Jed.
All right, Mom, I'm going to tell you about the events I have coming up. I hope you're proud of me. So I have the West Virginia Tattoo Expo, August 23rd, 24th, 25th. I have September 1st is the West Virginia Handcrafted Cooperative on Spruce Street in Morgantown. which is
I want to go to
the
that.
coolest event. I did it in fall last year, and it is only you have to. It's a huge application, and they only take like the best.
When is it?
September 1st.
It's the weekend in between like
It is
PopCon
1
and
week
Michael's wedding.
after the expo.
I'm not gonna
Yeah,
be
you're not
here.
going to be here.
What?
I'm gonna be in up northeast. Jess and I are taking a vacation to de-stress.
Oh, that's the weekend that I'm watching your dogs.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I'm so disappointed.
Anyway, sorry.
this year has
out of
been
nowhere.
terrible. I'm missing everything.
I thought Jed was going to be the problem.
Sorry. I'll just put this over here now.
He's like, I don't edit these anymore.
I don't.
September 1st is the Handcrafted Cooperative, which is really cool because it's only completely handcrafted things. Like, it's not like you're not going to walk in and find like people selling makeup and people selling, $5 pieces of jewelry that everybody's selling. It's
Kirby vacuum cleaners.
no vacuum cleaners. But it's only local artists. And it's really, really awesome. It's a huge event. They have it where they do the farmers market on Spruce Street in Morgantown. And that whole place is filled up with vendors, with artists. And then on September 22nd, I am doing Bitchcraft Fair in Pittsburgh. And it is like a mystics theme type thing that is all lady artists. All lady artists. It's going to be awesome. And then October, I think 12th and 13th, I'm doing Meeting of the Marked in Pittsburgh, which is the Pittsburgh Tattoo Convention. And I'll be set up there too on Saturday and Sunday.
You're going to be busy. That's like one right after the other after the other.
Yeah.
Now, do you do all of your stuff for those? So will you be doing like your cross
Only
stitching?
copper jewelry.
Just the copper jewelry
Yes.
for those. Okay. I was going to say, because that's a lot of work, especially if you
Yeah.
sell out of,
Yeah.
like how much do you have like in back stock of your copper jewelry?
Not a lot.
Not a lot. I was going to say, you're
I
going to be
keep
busy.
enough in stock for the next event and
Okay.
to have whatever on my website.
Oh, this is ruined now. We're gonna
Yep.
have to throw this
Yep,
whole
we
interview
gotta
out.
Yeah, me
Restart.
coughing is the problem.
Start over. Toss the whole thing out.
Yep.
It's done.
You were talking about bees, and there's people who keep a bee farm on top of the hill at mine and my roommate's house, and they've actually burrowed
Send
in.
messages and ask Daniel about his roommates.
Yeah, they're awesome. Love my roommates. Anyway, they've burrowed into one of the trees right next to our house, so they're all over the place. So if I find any that
Yeah.
have passed away, sadly, I'm not going to kill any. Then I'll save them and I'll bring them up to you
Have you done a
because
cicada show?
No, I want to.
That would be
That
super
would be
cool.
really cool.
Or just a cicada in general.
Yeah, I
That
want
would
to.
also look really cool.
I have a butterfly in my car right now that somebody gave to me that they found that I want to do. Like the whole butterfly.
Oh, that'd be cool. Man. I wish
Possibilities are endless.
that we would have met sooner because I remember this has been a couple months ago. It's been like 5 or 6 months ago, but they the Luna moths, the big green
Yep.
moths.
Thank you.
I had found one of those on my back porch one
Things
morning.
are awesome.
Yeah. It was dead. Well, it was dying, and then I came home and it was dead.
Yeah.
And then the corgi ate it.
Oh.
Did he poop it back onto the porch?
Probably.
Because that's a
So
ticker.
he's got his little tiny legs.
How many times has poop been said on my podcast?
I mean, we can
This
refer to it
particular
as something
one.
else.
Like, I'm pretty sure
you
that's
want.
the third time that word's been used.
Yes, at least.
Well, I mean, we know
I'm
that.
all about professionalism at Black Sheep Jewelry.
Is that why you never poop?
Yeah, I don't poop.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have time. You listen
true.
to the story.
I got a
Did
lot
I already ask this question too?
I got a lot of stuff going on.
Apparently, I can't remember.
Hey, nobody got time for that.
I actually I saw a picture of her, that lady. The ain't nobody got time for that lady.
Oh, I thought you meant me.
Yeah, and because she was like
Oh,
a drug addict, stuff like that. She was
She's like
apparently
all clean and stuff
Yeah,
now,
yeah, I
yeah.
thought it was really cool.
Yep.
I like to see the memes now and then, or now and later, or then and now, whatever. I don't know.
Where are they
It's been a
now?
long day.
It's been a weird one.
It has been a long time.
My husband wants to know what time I'm coming home.
What time would you like to wrap this up?
Well, have we talked about anything?
You're right. Have we?
This podcast is the equivalent of Seinfeld.
It's a podcast about nothing.
Yeah. It is.
That's a rude way to talk about your own business.
I mean, not telling
Listen,
anybody anything they haven't already.
If there's one thing that we are good at, it is self-deprecation.
Yeah, it really is. I think that's the sad thing is that's why people keep coming back. Is that they love the
No,
fact that
you're the sad thing that they keep coming back for.
Oh, that was the saddest face. It's like when you shame a dog.
grin at you.
Fucking Tater. Oh, that dog.
So we covered what it's like to be a mom. We covered
We
Jed's
should have made
lunch.
My
like
lunch.
bullet points.
Yeah.
After the last interview, we should have made bullet points to hit on for this one because we knew where it was going to go.
Jed's lunch.
Your extreme fertility. We covered that.
I think it's my husband's fertility.
Is it?
Yeah, I wasn't.
him?
I didn't have any babies before him. He had a kid before me,
Could be.
so I blame him. Yeah,
Were you both just extremely fertile?
I think we just gotta get
Maybe you guys
But,
are like
it's also been quite a while since you've had a kid. So
maybe you guys are like Will Smith and Charlize Theron from Hancock. And like the closer that you guys get together, the more powerful your reproduction gets.
maybe. I don't know what movie. I mean, I know
that's how
of
sex
the movie.
works, Jed.
I guess in a general
I
sense.
think, I think horny's the word you're looking for.
Yeah. It was a very weird way to describe sex. Have you ever seen Hancock?
Has nothing to do with a hand and a cock.
Jesus.
That's just masturbation.
And that's what we're going to talk about on my podcast.
I'm so
We're just
sorry.
we're gonna label this as the anniversary podcast.
Yeah, if
We'll
you
try
wanna,
me again later.
if you want to re-record your episode, that's fine.
Oh man! Anybody that thought this was gonna be about crystal energy, I apologize.
I mean,
I could use some crystal energy.
Wear this bracelet.
Like crystal meth energy. That's no.
It just keeps. It's like a snowball. It's just rolling and rolling.
Tell us more mom stories. It was really good and serious.
things were really nice for a second there.
Do what I can. I try so hard.
Then we just ruin it.
Yeah, this is.
It's the story of my life.
Fun fact. Let me throw a fun fact in there. So, I get a lot of messages on my business page and people asking me in general about crystal energy. And I don't know if you know anything about it at all. But so there's a lot of people that really, really, really believe in the effects of crystal energy and the effects that it has on your body and on your spirit and your chakras and everything like that. Then there's a lot of people that are really doubtful about it. But fun fact, a quartz crystal oscillates, so it vibrates back and forth, 32,768 times per second. So that's a lot. Like, that's a really high vibration. And that creates the energy that comes off of quartz crystal. Fun fact.
Isn't that why like watches
Yes.
say quartz on them? Because
Yes.
they're
They
tuned to the oscillation of
Yes.
the quartz crystal.
Yes,
Yeah.
because it's so precise.
Yeah.
I'm pretty positive. You can fact check that, but I'm pretty positive it's 32,768 times per second.
I think
Take your word for that.
the biggest thing that like
You're gonna fact check it though.
I'm going to check.
that like the whole crystals and energy thing. I think what really just kind of throws me off the whole thing, like not that I don't believe it or do believe it or anything, is just the fact that it's become so trendy that people just, it's like,
I was on point. 32,768.
Nice.
it's just that everybody is like all about it.
Yeah,
all of a
absolutely.
sudden. And, I think that's the big reason why I don't really.
It's definitely
care about
trendy.
it, yeah.
For me, I was the nerd that took crystals to show and tell and talked about crystals when I was a kid. Like I would use them for like science projects and stuff when I was in like middle school and stuff. My grandpa, my mom's dad, actually made crystal jewelry as well, so I grew up with that.
So you're a crystal hipster?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crystals were cool before. I was cool with crystals before crystals were cool.
No.
Yep.
No, continue. Sorry.
Crack a Pabst open. Hold some crystals.
That sounds all right.
Sounds like a good day.
Yeah.
Wait, I think White Claw's the new Pabst, though.
Listen,
I still haven't had one.
do you guys want me to do story time real quick?
Can we add music right there? Can you edit some music in there that leads into Jed's story?
I can. Yeah.
I want you
can
to.
do
So-
that. Yeah. I
All
can
right,
do
let's leave a gap right now. All right, that's where
Okay, there it is. So Jess had her graduation party last weekend, the week before, I don't remember. And so we're all down at Mia Margarita's. And, her friends, my friends are all there, our family's there. And we're like, okay, we're going to leave. We're going back to the house. Like, we invite everybody over. So we're standing outside of Mia's, and we're like, what should we do? Do you guys want to stop and get drinks? Like, what do we have at the house? Like, do you want to get food? So I suggest, why don't we just go buy a shit ton of White Claws and just have a White Claw party?
Had you ever had that before?
Yeah,
Okay.
a couple of them, yeah. So we got like 3 cases of White Claws and stuff to make Jaeger bombs. And just
I just want to remind everyone that Jed made fun of a guy for being super white earlier. Just go ahead.
oh, listen, it's pot calling the kettle for sure. I mean, like, listen, I'm aware of who I am. So first of all, let me just kill a myth right now. Anybody who says that you can't get hungover from drinking White Claws is full of shit. Because
I didn't
I
know
thought
that
I
was
was
a
going to
thing.
die the next day.
You were also drinking Jaeger bombs, though.
Is there a lot of
Yeah.
sugar in them?
White Claws.
Oh, I don't.
It's basically just seltzer water with alcohol in it and like flavoring.
Oh.
But yeah, I got so drunk. I'm terrified of heights. I got so drunk, I climbed a ladder onto my roof and then sang country roads on the roof of my house.
Jesus Christ. Who was at this White Claw? I'm assuming Roos was there.
No,
He wasn't.
He wasn't there.
He seems to me like the
He
type of
didn't
person
show.
that would either be drinking bourbon or White Claw.
Nope, he did not
No.
show. He couldn't come that night. No, but yeah, we did White Claws and we did Jaeger bombs.
Daniel, what's your favorite drink?
My favorite alcoholic drink.
Yes. No, just
I like grape Kool-Aid. Honestly, that's my favorite drink. Honestly, it reminds me of my grandma. She always drank grape Kool-Aid. Fuck out of my face with that shit. God, I love.
no, just like, what would you drink with a peanut butter sandwich for an afternoon snack?
A glass of milk.
Yeah,
The
that's
fuck?
easy.
That's
I
amazing.
guess yeah, that was a poor choice of words.
Yeah, that's pretty simple. Milk or coffee.
Bourbon or whiskey.
Ooh, coffee with peanut butter. I've never done that.
Dip your sandwich in it.
That sounds amazing.
I'll tell you another little life.
Bourbon, is that what you said?
Bourbon or whiskey. Yeah, that's
What kind
typically
of
my
bourbon?
is it the Bullet Bourbon Rye? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, that's not bourbon.
or
It's rye.
That's just rye whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably my favorite. That'd be my go-to. That rye whiskey, the Bullet.
That's
that stuff.
Same answer for
Good.
me.
God, it's so good.
Yeah. Old fashions with rye whiskey
Yeah. If anybody
and
out
a
there's
true
listening
maraschino cherry.
that listened to the Disillusion Effect episode, that's what I was drinking during that
Yeah,
episode.
bullet rye.
Yeah, see, I hate that. Okay, so the Disillusion Effect episode.
That was heavily edited. that one's like the last
I don't
one
think
I have.
heavily is strong enough.
Yeah, there's like an hour of stuff out of that episode.
Yeah, you were. I remember you saying that it was truly a wasted local talent episode, and I just had way different expectations when I started this podcast. I was like, man, I gotta drive from Morgantown. I'm not gonna be able to drink. I'm just gonna be doing this with drunk guys. Like,
No.
and you know what? I still came here.
Thank
I was ready to risk it. I was all in.
So what you're saying is you were that desperate that
For
you came
adult
to hang out with
interaction.
us, knowing who we are.
Oh, it'll happen once we actually get to do our year episode. This episode's gonna be dropping like close to
Soon.
close to the year mark since we've been out. We are gonna be releasing a year one, and we're definitely gonna be having some drinks then.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be rough.
See, what's fun about me is I can drink one drink and not be able to feel my face. Like, so it's always exciting. Like, doesn't take a whole lot.
Yeah. Well, did you see the pictures from after that episode?
No.
Where there was that heater over there was right over here where the wasted sign is, and I was face down on the floor there, passed out.
Yes, like literally on his face,
Passed out. My brother came downstairs looking for me because he saw my car outside still, and he hadn't heard from me, and I was just asleep on the floor. He got a picture of it. It's on my Facebook. It's hilarious.
And he's wearing,
And I'm wearing
his
the wasted hoodie, so
local
it just says
talent
wasted
hoodie.
across the back of it. It's the best thing ever.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you've seen that picture, I was actually wasted.
So you're both whiskey drinkers.
You don't like whiskey?
I do not like whiskey at all.
That's fair.
Just so we're clear, I very, very rarely ever drink anymore. Like, I might have a margarita like twice a year. Might have a glass of wine. That's about it.
No, I drink.
I used to drink.
I
used
drink
to be
very
good at it.
often, but I don't drink heavily that often. Maybe once a week.
I hardly ever drink anymore. I think I bought a 6-pack like
I
2
know.
weeks ago.
None of you guys drink with me anymore.
I don't. My car broke down, dude. I don't have a way to get anywhere.
Every time you or Josh come over, you guys are like, "Ooh, I don't want to drink. Ooh. I'll feel
Is
bad.
that your Daniel impression?
I'll feel bad tomorrow." Ooh.
I didn't know you're so good at impressions.
Wow.
You can't even tell the difference, honestly.
It's just a free for all.
He's not even holding it back anymore.
Nah, I just. No,
I am
forgot.
so not telling people I did this episode. Oh my goodness.
We should wrap this though, because
Yeah, I actually
been a
forgot that
while.
I need to go to Walmart to the money center, and my brother sent money to.
is that
take
what it's
care-
actually called? The Money Center? What a generic ass name, Walmart.
It's Walmart.
I think it
Jesus.
closes at 7, maybe on a Sunday.
You're not
I don't
gonna
know.
make that.
Fuck no, I'm not gonna make it.
What's
My
that?
brother PayPal'd me money to take care of his
626.
daughter, and forgot to get it on the way here.
His daughter?
Yeah,
Where is she?
at my roommate's house.
You
at the
are
house
doing
with
such a
my
bad job right now.
Did you not? Nothing.
My brother didn't have cash, so he PayPal'd me money because my roommates don't have PayPal.
I love that I have to explain this.
I'm confused. What's going on?
You said that you had to stop and get it, or that you left it, and I said his daughter.
Oh, I didn't even catch that. You said that. Yeah.
Oh wow, that was rough.
I got it.
I know. That's just rough to have to explain that. God, we're awful.
Tune in next week.
I can't remember anything. She can't hear.
Sexist.
'Cause this is our home. This is right where we belong. Be proud of the places that we are from. This is our home. It might not be much to some. Don't take it for granted. Tomorrow it might be gone. 'Cause this is our home. This is right where we belong. Be proud of the places.
That's where we should end.
God, that'd be hilarious.
We should just cut the episode right after that. This sexist
Do it.
roll credits.
I'll do it.
That's perfect. That's gonna be
gone.